What's going on?
What's up? Here we go. What's up?
Not much. How can you hear me good?
Yeah, you're really good. Yes, sir.
Okay, I got these headphones in today. Hopefully that'll cut down on the echo. Uh, all right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in today. This is the TNT podcast coming to you once again live through millions. It is good to be back after a week in Sarasota. I know Torrez spent him some time in Florida as well. How was your time, Torrez?
Oh man, it was really good, man, and really enjoyed it. A lot of good time. A little bittersweet though. Obviously wanted Trevor to get the win, but overall we had a really good time. Stayed in a really nice house and everything, and it was fun. But it was also fun for me to finally get my. I've been to a UFC event before. I was at the Apex in Vegas, but it was fun to go to my first one in a live crowd, and it was exciting. It was exciting to see some of the fights live. Some of the guys I've trained with before a fight. It was something to experience live. I did not stay for the whole main card. I left after the prelims to go back to the hotel to check with Trevor and all this stuff. But it was good. I got the full experience. So it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, I saw the video. Somebody posted you up on Twitter, a video of you coaching up Trevor from the stands. That was pretty cool, man.
Yeah, yeah. We had really good seats. We were right near the cage, and
Did he say he could hear you?
yeah, he could. Yeah, I have a distinct voice. I mean, when
Yes,
I
you
lost
do.
I lost my voice yelling, but I was yelling loudly. And but yeah, because we was right there. We was blessed to have some sponsors help us out and get tickets right there near the cage. So we was directly next to the cage, as close as you can. We was right there, right behind the reporters table. So just literally probably a few feet, if even if that much. But we were yelling, and I was definitely trying my best to help Trevor with some tips and stuff. And obviously he had the coaches in the corner and him doing everything. But man, I really wish that would have won fight of the night. He had
It was a good fight.
he fought hard, and obviously on the scorecards, he lost 30-27. So yeah, he lost every round.
Yeah,
But I feel like that was the best fight of the night. They gave it to the main event, which I don't understand why, because the main event was an absolute beatdown. That main event wasn't
yeah,
even close. Taporia freaking 10-7 him. You don't ever see a 10-7 round in freaking MMA. That's one of the rarest things you see. But he got 10-7, and on one of the judges' scorecards was 50-42. That's an absolute beatdown.
yeah.
That's not even the same stratosphere. But they some type of way gave them fight of the night. So, I wish Trevor would have got the 50K along with that. But regardless of
Yeah.
the experience, it was good. One thing about MMA, man, nobody goes undefeated. There's only one man that went undefeated, and even people question his record. So, it's a sport where it's hard to go undefeated. It just doesn't happen because you have to deal with so many mixed martial arts. Also, the fact that Trevor had to deal with a 10-day different opponent on 10-day notice
True
um,
that.
from a guy that we all really thought he was going to knock out. This guy named Victor Martinez. Victor Martinez just didn't have the chin. He had sloppy striking. It was just been a really good matchup for Trevor. He pulls out. They get a guy, from the regional scene, but that squad, as I always say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And guy came in on 10 days notice, and he's from a really good training camp. Guy I fought my last fight against from Team Elevation. And it's funny, he had just got off the mat training against Justin Gaethje, and he gets the call, to fight Trevor,
Wow.
his first ever UFC fight. So,
That was his first UFC fight?
yeah, that was his first one. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so that
Well,
was
hey, that's a good freaking opening for him. Good God, good debut for him.
oh yeah, really good special debut for him. Yeah, yeah. So
He
like I
looked
said,
legit. Not gonna lie, he was able to stand toe to toe with Trevor, and up to this point, we haven't seen anybody do that. And he was throwing him right back, dude. He was taking him, he was throwing him right back.
yeah, he had a 20 fight. He was on 20 fight. He's had 20 pro fights. He's 14-6. That's a lot of experience, and that's really good.
Yeah,
So he's going to have him a long career. He's 30, so he's got probably a good 7, 8 more years left. So he's going to have him a good long career, and plus he's a true 145er. He came up in the weight class and fought that fight. So,
wow.
very, very special win for him. And hey, like he said in his interview, no better guy to train with than to train with Justin Gaethje. Because if anybody has watched Justin Gaethje earlier fights in his career, Justin Gaethje was a little bit of a wild um, striker, guy, hectic, very aggressive coming forward, and that's what Trevor is. Trevor's very aggressive coming
Yeah.
forward, and no better training. I mean, Trevor fights like Gaethje, very similar, a lot of the style. So no better way to train for somebody than to be the main training partner of one of the best guys in the world. So, but yeah, it's a good learning fight. So good learning fight for him, and he'll be back.
Yeah, for sure. All right, dude. Well, we talked a little bit about the fighting, but man, over these past week, it has been really it's been just about it's been 2 weeks really since we last did this, but
Mm-hmm.
um there's been a lot of action going on in the league that we love so much called the NBA. We not only have we had the draft, I was able to meet up with our boys, good friends of the show, Zach Smith, Kobe Reed, Daniel Hall's even been on the show before. Caleb Brown, I think he was on a redraft show back when I used to run this by myself.
Yep.
Got together at Wild Wing, watched some drafts, watched some of the draft. Had a good time. We stayed for at least I want to say about half. Um, Pretty much went how it seemed to go. Things didn't start getting really shaken up till I want to say Bilal Koulibaly, the French guy that I really liked a lot, got picked. I think it was like seventh. Yeah, it was a one pick before Washington, and then Washington traded up to get his rights. And then thanks. Oh yeah, and then your Mavericks did a couple trades, and we'll get into them here in a minute. But it was a good draft. A really deep draft as far as talent goes. I feel like there's going to be a lot of guys that we end up seeing. I think there's potential for some stars in this one, and then not only that, but there's going to be some guys that are in this draft that are going to be role players on some playoff contending teams. I think they're going to be able to make an impact pretty soon. But really, that's just like a little appetizer to what we have just been able to kind of live here recently, man. We had a little wild ride. Let's start off. Let's just go team by team and let's look at some of these squads. Let's look at
All right.
let's look at the Warriors first. A team that I know
All right.
Torrez likes to talk about a lot. They were able to keep Draymond Green, right? That's a good keep for them.
That
Keep
is.
to that team and all. But the move I want to talk about here first, Chris Paul coming into town for Jordan Poole. What do you
Yeah.
think here, Torres? I haven't really got your full thoughts quite yet on this. Uh, I want to hear them right here live.
That was a shocker. Not gonna lie to you,
Yeah,
man. That was a little bit of a shocker. I did not see that one coming. I actually did not see Jordan Poole being released so the way he was. I thought they would have a little bit fought for Jordan Poole a little bit more. I knew, and I said it on this show. I said they're not letting go of Draymond Green. I just knew it's not happening. I said
yeah,
that they're the
yeah.
core
They're going to do
piece.
everything they could.
Clay, Steph, and Draymond. That's their big three. That's their Jordan, Scotty, Dennis Rodman. That's their
Rodman, Horace Grant, kind of, yeah.
or, yeah, that's what he is. Yes, exactly. Like that's their guy. I just he's the heart of the team. I know. I
He
know it's
is
funny. I know funny people to meet someone. Well, here all he does is averages 7 points a game and throws up and flops. But he's a really good defensive player. He
You ain't
plays
kidding.
some stuff, and he brings something to that team that just makes them go. And he can pass the ball really
He
well.
passes the ball great. I'm about to say you
Yeah,
can't talk about Draymond without the
yes,
facilitating
he's a great
aspect of him.
facilitator. So I knew he was going to bring back Draymond, but for them to pick up Chris Paul, I don't know, man, because
How does he
you know
fit?
Steph Curry's the point to bring in Chris Paul. Is he coming off the bench? I don't think he is. I think he's going to start. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
if Chris Paul starts, is he the starting point guard now? Are we going to start allowing Chris Paul to
I
run the
think
offense?
so.
Are we going to
I
put
think
Steph
so.
Curry at shooting guard? You know,
Mm-hmm.
because Steph Curry really ain't the guy that runs the point guard, the true point guard anyway. Now he can obviously, but they have Draymond Green bring the ball up a lot of the times. So
Mm-hmm.
I think this might be a point where we see Chris Paul be the type of guy to bring the ball up. Let Steph play the shooting guard instead of obviously where they had Jordan Poole, didn't have Clay, didn't have Draymond. Now the thing is, now they're a small team. All right,
Yeah.
they're a small team. Um, I think what Andrew Wiggins, unless they stay small, have Draymond, do his thing, and I don't know, man. It's a small team. I would have liked it for them to get another a bigger man.
I don't even see a big man that they're going to be able to. I mean, I don't even think they've really gone
They don't.
crazy into looking for him. I mean, they got Draymond, of course, Kevon Looney, and they haven't added anybody. You can make a case for maybe Kuminga can be a small ball five. And then they did pick up a guy in the draft, a great pick, by the way. I was going to talk about this guy from Indiana, Tracy Jackson Davis. If you go and look at his film, he's pretty good. I don't know how he slipped as far as he did, but he about went undrafted. The Warriors slipped in late and got him. He's a good. I'm not going to say he's a five. He could play the five. He's like a athletic big man. I mean, more of a four, I think, than a five. But you're right. Right now, point guard, you're looking at. I think you're going to have to play Chris Paul at the point. You're going to have to run Steph as the two. You can't not start Clay. He's going to be your three now. I'm thinking you're probably going to end up starting Wiggins at the four and Draymond at the five. Like you said, the problem is you're small. You can kind of get picked on a little bit in some places defensively.
Unless they're willing to run the floor. Unless they're willing to run the floor. I mean, obviously we have saw that their struggle was, let's be honest, they have nobody for Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis cooked them in that series. And, then now you got, Jokic and all these boys. You got a lot of big men that can really play. And if you can't, you ain't got nobody to guard. I mean, who down there gonna really be able to guard Jokic? I mean, I know Draymond is a top tier defender. He is. He's one of the elite of the elite.
He ain't gonna be able to do that.
He's not gonna be able to do nothing with Jokic or Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm. And he's gonna get fouls called on him the way he plays. Exactly. I mean, Jokic is gonna draw those fouls on him. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at the lineup now. I mean, really, all their depth comes in at their 1 through 3. Like I said, Steph, Chris. You got Gary Payton, who they still have. Good defender, great defender, actually. Moses Moody. But you look at, I mean, they drafted a white dude that can shoot pretty good in this year's draft, Podzimski, and like I said, Tracy Jackson Davis, and they recently signed Corey Joseph, but that doesn't solve any problems for them, I don't think. So it's a weird lineup to run, but if anybody can make it work, it's Steve Kerr. Was just interested to see how you think about this. Somebody made the case. I was listening. I think it was Kevin O'Connor I was listening to, guy that I really respect his opinion a lot, but he mentioned Chris Paul's days in Houston and him and James Harden running that 1-2 spot, and they were able to make it work then. So, I mean, what's to say the Warriors can't make it work now under a better coach with some maybe even you could say a better supporting cast, right? I mean, you look at that Houston team. I mean, they had Trevor Ariza, Patrick Beverly, right? Capella. Yeah, Capella's maybe the big difference maker there. Mm-hmm. But off the top of my head, I mean, I like Draymond, I like Clay, I like Wiggins. There's still some good guys here with this Warriors team.
They just had a big man that could at least do something. But I agree with you though that this is a very similar team to the Houston team. But you think about it,
they're not getting a big man. The big man market. Have you looked at it?
No, I haven't.
Dude, it's slim pickings now because I want the Lakers to get another big man, but Mason Plumlee was probably your best option. The only thing that could probably happen that could really work in their favor, you could look at a Christian Wood, played for your Mavericks this past year. He's available. Not really good defensive piece, but he can play some offense. Didn't really pan out with the Dallas Mavericks, but you got him. You got Bismack Biyombo, who played with the Suns this last year. He still has some shades of some stuff every now and then really that's it. Mason Plumlee just got picked up today, and that was probably your best man on the market. It's very slim pickings, dude.
Yeah, most of the time, that's the thing. It's just somebody that can fit into the system, and that's one thing that Kerr looks at. Kerr probably doesn't. I mean, he don't. As I've seen him over the years, he don't really look at people for the purposes of, their style or their play, but somebody that can fit into the system. And if he thinks they can fit into the system, I mean, who is to say that it hasn't worked? I mean, he's worked every time. Yeah. So, if he doesn't think they need a true big man, I just think
it hurt him this last year.
It did hurt him. It did hurt him. Yeah. It hurt him really bad. But then again,
the
when your best players not hitting their shots as well, that hurts as well.
Clay
shoot worth $3. Draymond ain't doing. He was going all over the place. Wiggins, Wiggins besides the King series, what did he do the next one? Or the Poole can, I mean, that's why Poole got let go of. But I'm looking at it like, did we not see what Chris Paul was doing late in the playoffs? Like, I mean, come
Yeah.
on. But hey, it's a system thing. It's a game by game thing. I mean, hey, if Coach Kerr thinks it works out, then we'll see. We will see.
Yeah. Yeah. Not crazy confident about him though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not super. I don't know. I feel like there could have been something else to happen, but that I mean, trading Jordan Poole away and not only trading him away, but pretty much dangling other things along with him. I mean, they sent 2 first-rounders away with him, another young guy, and he wasn't really anything. I don't think the young guy. He's like their pick from last year, and then maybe a second-rounder. So I mean, you're packaging all this stuff away for her just to get rid of Poole. Great move by the Wizards. We'll see how it plays out for the Warriors. We were just talking about your Mavericks, so let's swing to them real quick. Give me your thoughts on what you've seen them do this offseason.
So I haven't really seen much, obviously, besides the Kyrie
Yeah,
stuff. Signing back Kyrie Irving. I see they signed back Seth Curry, Dwight
I like
Powell,
that pickup. I like the Seth
and
Curry pickup.
yeah, I do. I do like Seth Curry. He's done a lot of good things. He's actually played for the Mavs before, so
Yeah, he was good then too.
he helped us out a lot. I like him. Obviously, I like the Dwight Powell, us getting him back on contract, and also like Kyrie. I still feel like we need to find some more things defensively. That's where we struggle at last year. We could score any
What
team.
position are you thinking they need to add that to in particular?
I mean, last time, I just made a shout out to like Draymond Green. If we possibly could have got
Yeah,
him,
no, he's done now.
Warriors. But yeah, somebody at the small forward position because I can see you got Luka at the power forward. He can play that unless Luka's defense continues to get better. I know Luka can
I
bring the
think he
ball.
might improve this year.
Yeah, I can see it, but I just have to can't jump to the conclusion until we see it first. So
Yeah,
uh, I just haven't seen that defense prowess of him because he is a top tier player. He's a top 10 player in the league. But what will solidify him is this once he gets that defense under control. I mean, all the guys that have been amongst the top five that all have defense. I mean, and I know some people like to say about Jokic, he's the best, but Jokic can play defense. All right. There's certain centers that give
he
him
can.
problems, but Jokic can really play defense. So there's certain guys. I just wish Luka would step up more on the defensive end. Kyrie's not going to really help too much on the defensive end. Man, heck, in his prime, Kyrie was one of the worst amongst defensive rating point guards in the league. So,
Curry's
and
not
he
gonna really help you out much there.
and Seth Curry ain't helping out. So
He's
we can
helping out
score.
offensively, maybe not defensively though. It don't look like.
No, we're gonna have problems defensively. I mean, we're gonna be able to drop 125, 130 points a game, but
Yeah.
what is that gonna help when the other team's scoring 130, 140? Like heck, there was one game last year where both teams had. Where was one team the Mavs played? I think it was actually the who was it? It was I think it was the game where Luka had made those miraculous plays at the end of the game. The final score was like 150, 152 to 150. And I'm like,
Uh huh.
what the world? Like, yeah, we won the game, but like, come on, like that's bad. Like that's awful.
Yeah.
That's awful, man. You gotta have some defense, man. Gotta have some defense.
Yeah. Overall, I mean, I don't know quite what to. I mean, obviously keeping Kyrie that's big for you. After what you traded for him, you need to keep him. Getting Curry in, I like that. They picked up. I don't know if you saw it. They picked up Dante Exum, former first round pick from the
That's
Jazz.
all.
Good defensive guy, big bodied guard. Has played overseas. I want to say the past couple years, and he couldn't really shoot. But then overseas, he got his percentages up. So if he's able to come in and he can actually contribute offensively, then you could have a piece there. Did like what you did in the draft. I like. What'd you think of the drafting of Derek Lively?
Derek Lively. Where is he from?
He's the center from Duke. That
Okay.
I really like him. I can tell you haven't done a whole lot of looking into him yet, but I like his fit with the Mavericks a lot. When it was time when y'all traded back, I think y'all traded back to number 12 with the Thunder just to get off of Bertans' contract, which was a good move by the Mavericks because he's overpaid. It's crazy that they even had him on the roster to begin with. That one magical season in Washington where he's popping all those threes, but they moved back to dip off from Bertans, and they went back 2 spots. Were able to pick up Lively, who's really risen. He really rose up boards the past few weeks going into the draft. Big man, 7-footer. Didn't show that he could shoot in college, but all this offseason leading into the draft, you saw nothing but videos of him just draining threes. Like he just reminded me of that Jason Tatum video before he got drafted. Not trying to say that that's what's going to happen here, but just where he was just one after another after another. So maybe he's able to contribute there. But the one thing he did show in college, he's great around the rim. He's a great defender. The dude can block and just really protect the rim at all costs. And honestly, that's one of the main things I think the Mavs were missing this past year. Christian Wood did not work out, like I mentioned earlier. He's not a defensive type guy, but having a guy down there that can protect the rim, I think it's going to pay dividends. And if he can really meet the potential that I think a lot of people have for him, this could be a big thing. You guys also traded for Rashawn Holmes. I think they did like a salary cap dump type move. He's overpaid, but he's a center that can maybe help. So I think he may have gotten better. How much? That's to be determined. We'll kind of see. So that's what I noticed there with y'all. Let's flip it over to the Denver Nuggets. How much have you paid attention to their offseason moves? I'll run you through a few things. Did you
All
see
right.
the contract that Bruce Brown got?
I know he went to the Pistons, right?
He went to the Pacers,
Pacers, okay.
and he got freaking. And I don't know if you
Was
saw
it 80,
that.
80 million? Was it 80 million?
No, I won the 80 million. That was
45
freaking
million.
what's it?
Got 45 million. Okay, I see it.
Yeah,
He
I
got
think
paid
you
2 years,
said 45.
He got paid 2 year, 45 million.
45 million, which I didn't. Now I knew he's gonna get a pay bump. I didn't know it was gonna be that freaking much, dude. That's 22 and a half a year if you really look at it. If you split that down the middle between the two, I figured he's more of like a 15 million player. But according to sources, he was going to sign with the Lakers for the mid-level exception, which would have been about like 12.5 million.
Uh-huh.
And he was willing to do that. But once somebody comes in and offers you, hey man, we'll freaking double that, and come
Yeah.
play, for us, you can't turn that down if you're a guy like Bruce Brown, who's, he's making more now on this contract than he's had. I think this is maybe his fourth or fifth year, more than he's made in all those years. So
So
it's kind of stupid to turn that money down.
you have to remember, there's certain people that play for championships, and then there's certain people that play for money, and you see that a lot. Not a lot of guys play for a championship. A lot of guys play for money, and Bruce Brown saw that 2 year, 45 million. He's going for that money.
Yeah, I can't blame the dude. You can't fault him. He's worked his butt off. He's played good wherever he's went.
I mean, you see that a lot in fighting. I mean, everybody
Yeah,
thinks anyone that makes it to UFC, that makes it to Bellator, that make it to PFL, everybody think, oh, they're going for trying to go for a champion. No, guys do not get into fighting for the championship. I actually want people to think the otherwise. Everybody say, man, I want to be that man. I want to be the best. I want to be the best. Once they get in there and they see the level of competition, that changes real quickly to
very.
I want to just make as much money as possible. So,
And get out of here.
so and get out of it. Yeah. So like
Yeah.
it's about the money, and Bruce Brown made the best decision. Plus, he won a championship already. He's good.
Played on
He
some
won
good teams so far.
on a historic team. Yeah. I mean, give Bruce Brown his credit, man. I props to him. He's got the title. So go get paid, young man. Go get paid. 2 year, 45 mil. He's set for life, man. He's set for life. Go take it.
Yeah, and I mean we could talk about it, but here in just a minute. But I'm I'm kind of not feeling too bad about the Pacers. That team is actually starting to look pretty good. We'll talk about them here in a second. Let's get through the Nuggets since we
All
already
right.
started on them. But they lost Bruce Brown. They lost Jeff Green. Jeff Green now going to the Rockets. He's going to try to be the adult in the room there. They did sign Justin Holiday. Not huge on that. He just hasn't. I mean, maybe he can come in and hit some threes every now and then. He's not like a big contributor in my opinion. Weird turn of events. They re-signed Reggie Jackson, who they barely used at all in the postseason.
Two
And
years.
they didn't just sign him to a normal deal. They signed him, I want to say, to their mid-level exception, which is kind of too much for him. Maybe they saw something in him, but if you saw something in him, why didn't you play him? That's weird
That's
to
right.
me. I don't know. I think that was kind of a weird thing. But then just to hit on their draft real quick, I did like what they did in the draft. They had 3 picks. They drafted Jalen Pickett from Penn State. If you go watch him, he's a guard that likes to. He's like a guy that does the dirty work. Like he loves to get in the post, even for a
Mhm.
smaller dude. He's not a huge dude. He'll back people down and just go at the rim. He just tries to get down low as far as he can, close to the rim, and he puts it up. He's able to finish at the bucket. He's pretty good at it. So he's an interesting player to watch. Then they got Julian Strother from Gonzaga. You may have remember seeing him in the tournament. I think he hit like a game winner for them in the tournament at one point. It was maybe in that
Mhm.
game that guy. Remember the guy you told me about that came from Chattanooga? Remember he was playing for Gonzaga and he had a
Uh,
big
uh,
game.
uh, Malik Smith. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Malik.
yeah, yeah. I think Strother won that one with like a game winner. Yeah, he
Mhm.
did. Yeah, remember it was I think it was
That's
against
right. That's right.
UCLA
Yeah,
or something
that's
like
right.
that. It was
Yeah,
yeah, he had the
he got
game winner.
put on the Malik actually props from Malik. He got put on the Portland um, summer
He got
league
picked up
team.
by him.
Yeah, he
Nice.
got
All right.
free agent. He got put in by free agent,
Yeah.
so it was really good for him. Really
He could
good.
be a
You know,
legit dude. Yeah. Hey, by the way, there's basketball being played here in like 40 minutes, so I'll be trying to watch some of that. I think it's the California Classic. Lakers are going to be playing in that, so I want to see what some of these young guys. We'll get into them here in a minute. I keep getting ahead of myself, but Strother, he got drafted. He looked pretty good, and then Hunter Tyson, like a small ball five, maybe a stretch four. He's really gotten to the point he can hit the three for Clemson. So decent guys, cost efficient. They still got their core. But I do hate that they lost Bruce Brown and Jeff Green. Those were two of their top 7 guys. So we'll see how
it
that
was.
affects them this year.
It
So
was. You might be seeing these guys really lean a little bit more on Jamal Murray and Jokic and some of those other boys. I saw that. You see they brought back DeAndre Jordan. Like you
yeah,
said,
weird, a little bit of a weird move too there. I don't know. He didn't really do much for you.
yeah, and a multi-year deal for that at that rate.
Odd.
So
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if it's just the vet minimum.
mhm.
Like I don't think that it was anything huge by any means. But just that was an interesting move. Maybe they just value because I know one of the big things talked about was his mentality, his veteran presence helped them out kind of thing. So that's something interesting to keep an eye on. Let's see here. So I know I mentioned the Pacers, so I know you're dying to hear about them, right?
Yeah,
I
it's a way
I really like what they've done though. Of course they got Tyrese Halliburton, who they just signed to a max deal. Their
5 years.
former first round pick from 5-year bunch of money. Then they got their first rounder last year, Benedict Mathurin, who showed some good promise there. Andrew Nimhard, good young guy there. They traded away Chris Duarte to get him off so that they could bring in Bruce Brown, who's now going to be a veteran presence for them. Still got George Hill, TJ McConnell, um, Isaiah Jackson. All right. Buddy Hield's still there. Aaron Neesmith actually showed some pulse there. Miles Turner, Jalen Smith. I like the young guys they got, and then their first rounder this year, Jarris Walker, able to bring him in with Ben Shepherd, guy from I think it was Belmont he played for, and Isaiah Wong, who I think went undrafted from Miami, that I really like. So I like that team as a team that I think is going to actually take a step up this year, based on the moves that they made. I think they got some talent there to work with, and I think they can maybe do something in the East. The East looks like it's I don't know. It feels like everybody's going west. Feels like the West is going to continue to be the stronger conference here.
It's been a
Um,
strong profit for a long time, man. It's been a long. Now,
it
obviously,
seems it's going to stay that way. Besides Damian Lillard moving to the East, if he moves to the East,
East.
because that's not necessarily even out of that's not out of the
What's your
possibilities.
thoughts about him trying to get to Miami? What are your thoughts on that?
If I'm Portland, I'm playing this like these other teams have kind of played. I don't want to say. I was going to say Anthony Davis there for a minute when he was forcing his way out of New Orleans, but then again, he got his way on that. We're so used to these guys getting their way when it comes to I don't want to play here anymore. Trade me exactly to who I want to play for now. Um, but not enough people really look at the team aspect of the things. Like Portland would be doing a disservice to its organization, to its fans, to the guys that are going to be staying there after Damian leaves if they trade with Miami for the. I'm not going to say it's like a bucket of crap, but compared to what the Suns or what the Nets got for KD, it would just look like nothing. Like this is just it's just crap. Damian Lillard is one of those top tier guys that I feel like, you
Yeah.
deserve to get something for him. I mean, they could get a, I think it was the projection I saw. Somebody, I think it was Kevin O'Connor. I think it was a couple of picks that he talked about, like a couple first round picks. Their first round pick this past year, Jaime Jaquez from UCLA. You may remember him, dude with the beard, like the beard and the long hair.
Mm-hmm.
He was a pretty good player. I actually think he's like a low key good up. But let's see. They mentioned him, the two picks. Here we go. Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry, and then a pick swap and Nikola Jovic, another younger guy on the Heat. It just don't sound like a lot for Damian Lillard. I mean, I feel like you can get more for him, and people are starting to bring up, and this could be something to watch. The San Antonio Spurs. They have a ton of picks.
Mm-hmm.
Got Victor Wembanyama now. Got Devin Vassell. They could probably trade away Keldon Johnson to get him. Trey Jones will be a backup guard for him. I mean,
Dennis
Jeremy
Schroeder.
Sohan.
Not
Schroeder ended up going
not
to the
Schroeder.
Raptors.
I messed up. They got Trey Jones.
Yeah, I like Trey Jones. I see him like his brother, being a guy that can come off the bench if they get Damian Lillard. I mean, if not, he's still a good player. I like him. But they have pieces there that I think would be more intriguing than what the Heat can give. It seems like nobody wants Tyler Hero right now, and it's kind of starting to blow my mind a little bit. There's something that we don't know. Maybe there's like some behind the scenes stuff because the Brooklyn Nets apparently they were talking because Miami, if they're to do this trade, they're going to need a third team to get involved, and the
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nets have been one of those teams that has been talked about, and the Spurs as well. But people are wanting compensation along with Hero if they take on Hero, so they're going to want picks. So it's just kind of, I don't know, interesting turn of events. I didn't see that one quite happening.
All
But
right.
yeah, that's definitely something to watch.
Oh, so one team I definitely have been slightly keeping up is because I made a bet with a friend for
Let's hear it.
next year, next season. He actually just went off to the Navy, but he'll be back around late
Who is
August.
this?
It's Arion's brother. His name is Brandon
Oh, okay.
Mallory. So Brandon made a bet against me. He said next year the Suns are going to win the NBA championship. So we just bet $100. I said
Make
okay,
it
fine.
happen. So
So
you're just taking the field and he's taking the Suns.
yes, he's taking the Suns. Yes,
Take those odds all day, Torres.
I
You
take
take
the
those
odds all
odds,
day.
baby.
I've said it on this show. I said I don't think LeBron James or Kevin Durant will ever win another championship for the rest of their career. I'm not just saying that just to say it. I'm saying because the field has gotten that much better, and these guys are trying to create their team to go against them. But now I'm not gonna retract. I still like my chances. But gosh, what the Suns have done this offseason, my lord.
Yeah,
I stayed intact with that one. And I was like, every time I thought this guy going to the Sun, this guy signed with the Sun, this guy, and I'm like, what in the world?
they got some solid pieces. I got to give you that.
I mean, Damian Lee, Eric Gordon, obviously the biggest thing that we already know, Bradley freaking Beal. I mean, my goodness. And they still got a lot of other small pieces, that I'm still looking at that, I don't know as much about, but freak. These brothers here, boy,
Yeah,
they got a team. They got a team, man. Dude, they got a team. And they got a bench. Because they did not have one last year.
well, I'll throw an interesting thing here. So let's break this down because I'm not here to to poo poo on it. They've had a great offseason. You can't say they haven't, but I'm not as sold on this team just yet. And I know that's kind of crazy. They still got. I mean, trust me, I love Booker. I definitely believe in Booker. I definitely believe in Durant. You know my feelings on Ayton. We're not going to go there right now. I definitely think I could see Bill making a difference here, but when you look at it, they have signed some good people and spent some money ball type moves. Finding talent, some young talent with high upside. Keita Bates Diop, if you remember him played for Ohio State, played for San Antonio this past year. He's a 6'8" forward. He's good. He's got some upside. He's not great. Okay. We could see if he turns out into something. That's something to watch. He's going to be coming off the bench. They lost Torrey Craig, who did actually play good for them this past year. I think he's going to the Bulls. They signed Drew Eubanks from the Spurs as well. Another center. He's okay. I'm still worried about that center spot a little bit. Then they got Damian Lee coming back, a good guard. Josh Okogie, a good guard coming back. He's 6'4". He technically plays the small forward some. Cameron Payne, we know him. Ish Wainwright, probably the biggest free agent I think they signed outside of Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon was a pretty good pickup by them, but he's still an older guard too. Is Yuta Watanabe, and that's a name not a lot of people know, but he's an Asian dude. Played for the Nets this past year. Enjoyed playing with Durant. 6'8", small forward, power forward like. I think he shot 44% from three this past year, which is wild. So he's got this. He can stroke it, man. He can stroke it. But to me, I just feel like you're one. Like it's not like I love the guards. I love the guards. To me, Booker, Beal, Eric Gordon, Cameron Payne, Damian Lee. I like having all those guards. That's awesome. Eric Gordon, all them. It's great. You could throw Okogie in that mix, but then you look at your forwards and your centers. My feelings on the 8, and I'll say that again. I'm not crazy about the dude. Eubanks don't move the needle for me. Keita Bates Diop don't really move the needle for me. Durant, you're one Durant injury away from, I don't know, man. You could just get bully balled. I really do think so. I think you can get bully balled. If you go against a bigger team, I think you can just get boxed out, dunked on, posted up the rest of the time. Sure, you're gonna be hell to stop. Like it's gonna be hard to stop that team offensively, man. They can cook probably, but then again, we still haven't seen it yet. But they got a whole year to mesh and gel and get right. But I still think there's like one piece missing, and I don't know their whole. I haven't done a whole lot of research into their roster dealings as far as like if they have any spots available, if they're going to go try to get another forward or something like that. But to me, that's what I think they need for me to be fully comfortable. And there's still some decent forwards out there. I was about to mention it to you with your Mavericks, but Kelly Oubre was one that's still out there. To me, he's decent. He's an unrestricted free agent. And there's a few others that maybe could come in and contribute. But I feel good if I'm you. If I'm you and I take the field right there, I feel good.
I still
I
do.
like those odds.
The teams that still beat this, in my opinion, still is Denver. I still got the Lakers up there. They're gonna be still a tough team to beat.
Yeah.
And I like Phoenix chances. They have grown, but and I just think they're exponentially better than what they were last year, and they have pieces now on the bench that they can utilize. But I would give them a slight edge on what they were last year. Like if you have this team, well, we got, like you said, we got to see them play.
They're better than where they were in the playoffs. Yes, I'll give you that.
But I feel like we see this team play that same Denver Nuggets team. We probably see a game 7. So that's how I actually feel with this type of game.
We'll see. I see when I look at this. It looks like a great regular season team to me, and I think they can definitely make it a little bit into the playoffs. But once you start getting deeper into it, you got to start thinking you're playing the same team, in that series over and over, and they're going to find, that your weak points get really magnified in that. And I feel like in the playoffs, you're not going to be able to get away with the small lineups, and I feel like they're going to end up playing some small lineups to get by just with the personnel they got. Like it's just, I don't know. Look, see
how far they got by with what they had. Come on. They took the Nuggets to the furthest that anybody took them.
Than anybody else. You're right. You're correct.
And like I say, man, a few injuries here and there away. They never was going to win the series. After game 2 and actually they won game 3 and game 4, but the way they were playing on the road against Denver, I just never see them winning that series.
KD is the key point here. If he goes down, that ship is sinking quick.
I can see that.
They've got to have him stay healthy this year. Because if you're relying on Bill and Booker, I'm just not buying it, dude. I'm just not. Like it all hinges on KD.
Right.
So what we gonna say? That we gonna mention anything else with it?
No. That's all I was saying, man. That's one of those teams that I am keeping an eye on. Definitely the Suns, but I'm not picking them for no title, but they're going to be a team that I wouldn't be surprised to see in the Western Conference Finals. So I'm going to put them that far. Not saying that they're going to win anything of that nature, but they're going to be a tough team to beat. Like you say, but health issues has always been a problem, especially with Kevin Durant. So especially later on in his career, since that Achilles injury he had, on the
Weird
Warriors.
fluky injuries too.
Um, who said again?
There's fluky injuries too. Like when he was
Yes,
warming up and just doing layups, and he just
I know.
ends up hurting himself. Like just a weird injury. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not as huge on him as everybody else is. I definitely see them like they're definitely up there in the title odds. But we'll see. Let's talk about them. Let's talk about it. You brought them up briefly. The Lakers. We got to talk about them. I know I got Jacob in. I think Jacob's watching us live here. So let's see if he can throw something in here. But they go and
They got
they
the name.
have about
They
as
got.
good of an offseason as I feel like they could have. Like this offseason worked out pretty much how you could have possibly drew it up. I did not see the Gabe Vincent signing coming. I don't think a lot of people saw them coming. Great player. We talked about him on the show during that finals run. He's Jacob says best offseason out of any team, he says.
I can
So
give you that. They have.
yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you look at it, let's break it down. Gabe Vincent coming in. You got D'Lo coming back on a cheaper deal. And I
Mm-hmm.
think he's worth 18 and a half. I'd give you 18 and a half. And that's a tradable contract. We can see if we got to look at the contract details to it if he can be traded. But if so, that's a tradable contract. And that's something good to
Say
have on
people
the
only got
radar.
mad at him for what he did in the Western Conference Finals. Dude, we can't just forget what he did in the series against the Warriors. I mean, he looked phenomenal. So we just can't. It's
Yeah.
ours. We play one back. Like no, he played good when he was in there. So he helped out the Lakers a lot throughout the entire season
Yeah.
when he did get to the Lakers. So
Yeah. But I mean, you look at him. D'Lo, Gabe Vincent, and then you drafted Jalen Hood-Schifino, point guard out of Indiana. Wasn't huge on it at the time. He's grown on me some. Has a decent mid range. Great defender. He's like a 6'5", 6'6" point guard. Some people this is really a stretch here, but some people have compared his defense to Jason Kidd. That's definitely a stretch. It's hard to get to that point. But if he can come in and play defense, he's going to get on the floor. So I like those three guards. Then you bring back Austin Reeves on a 4-year, $54 million contract. That's a steal, dude. Oh my
yeah.
God. Woo! I'm happy about that's my favorite thing right there, man. I love me some Austin Reeves, dude. You know that. He's
Good
gonna be
boy.
great.
Yeah.
Bringing in another Tyler favorite, Cam Reddish. I like me some Cam Reddish.
All that.
He hasn't
Yeah.
done much. I like taking the swing on the upside. I like bringing him in. You bring in Torian Prince at 4.5 million. I'll take
Yeah.
that all. That's a great
Really good
contract right there. LeBron being back, Rui coming back, Jared Vanderbilt coming back, Anthony Davis. I like the swing of Jackson Hayes, center for the Pelicans. He was in the same draft as Cam Reddish. I like him a lot. I think the talent's there, the raw upside there. So I think he can be something. What were you saying?
Gabe Vincent. I saw that too,
Yeah,
man.
I like him coming in. So I mean,
Huge
they
steal from the
definitely got better, in my opinion. I think they definitely got better this offseason. I don't think I'm missing anybody else. They let Dennis Schroeder go. We talked about that. He's with the Raptors now. He got a pay upgrade. Let Lonnie Walker go. And then I can't be forgetting Max Christie, who they got last year's draft. He's looking like he can maybe make a pickup here. Hayes is the pickup that will be talked about the most, is what Jacob Alden said. Dad had a question here. Oh, Louis chiming in. 1 month before the big show in Nashville, who's the man you're going to face, Torrez? Let's get off topic here for a second. Louis has a different opinion.
So can't make that out yet. Gotta wait. But contracts have been sent. Deals have been made. So we will see soon. I know exactly who it is, but we can't. I can't announce it yet. I gotta wait till the promotion announces. So
For those of y'all just joining us, this would not be a live show if we did not have my dad, Louis Layfield, chiming in to ask who Torres is fighting. It's every show. Who you fighting next? Who you fighting next? He does it every time.
I
So
can't.
yeah,
I can't say who I'm fighting next because we just have to wait. We gotta wait till he actually signed the
yeah.
contract. But the contract has been sent. He's already accepted. He said a yes and everything. So pay's been sent for both for me. Management. Just got to make all that extra stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
everything's been set out. So, yeah, Nashville, August 4th. I will be fighting. I don't know if I'm the co-main or main event. I always say I want to fight as early as possible. I like to get in and get out. Like I do not like to be there all day. But
Yeah,
I know
the
I still.
nerves probably get going.
So I know I got to wait and do my thing. But Man, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to fight. Been training hard, man. I feel good. So I'm ready, man. I'm so pumped. But we
Yeah.
know we know who we got. Just waiting until all contracts are signed and everything's good to go. But yep.
Yeah. All right. So back to the Lakers. So I went through the whole swing of things. Who they all picked up. What are your thoughts though? Do you think that's enough to push them over the top to maybe win a title this year?
No. But they do
Oh
have. They,
man, darn! I thought he was actually going to change his mind for once.
no, it wasn't going to change my mind. No, but they do have a really good team. They have guys that can really complement with AD and LeBron. I mean, phenomenal guys. But see, this is the thing. You know, Tyler, you've ran into this a lot. You know this now. Whoop! We ran into this a lot, and a little bit. But there's a lot of things that you see a lot of the times with the Lakers and team got to go with LeBron. A guy like Gabe Vincent, I'm going to use this for example. All right, you'll see him, man, phenomenal series. I mean, phenomenal play he had with Miami. He gets to LA, he forgets how to play basketball. I feel like we're going to see that with a lot of these guys that you got picked
I
up.
don't think
I,
so.
I actually do.
It's
I'm not
because
saying,
look, it's because of the caliber of the players. Gabe Vincent's not this huge name. To me, he was a great role player in Miami. He knew his role, dude. He stepped up when he had to, but he knew his place. Like you got to know that, man. Like he would play great defense. Like getting the look, like he would go dive at the ball. You know when there was a loose
he would.
ball, things like that. Like he's that kind of guy. He's not the kind that's like I got to get up this many shots a game. I don't think he's that mindset kind of guy.
And
D'Lo, that is the kind of guy that might disappear. Gabe Vincent, I feel like he's like a team player type dude. I could be wrong, but I think he's more of a team player type dude. I think Torian Prince is as well. I think Cam Reddish is just let's just see what he can do kind of thing. And then Jackson Hayes, he's going to try to up his value in LA, and I think he can.
and I'm
I don't
gonna
think
say,
these are guys that are like
and
egotistical.
you might not like this. You might not like this next one I'm about to say, but because he got paid a good contract, feeling good, gonna be sleeping good at night,
Don't
gonna
you
have
dare
a good
say his name.
house.
Don't you dare
Austin
say
Reeves
his
is
name.
gonna digress this
You
year.
better not. You better leave my.
I am. Austin Reeves is gonna
You
digress.
better leave the white Messiah alone. Leave him alone. He has done
Look,
nothing to
I
you.
feel like Austin Reeves. Look, he's a phenomenal player. I actually like watching him play. I do,
Dude,
but
he's playing on the USA FIBA team right now this summer. He's
bro.
going to be
And that's
playing for
what
them.
I'm saying, man. When they get paid that money, they're gonna fall. Oh, I'm telling you, bro. Austin
No,
Reeves is gonna slightly
no.
fall off. They have
You're
4
gonna
years.
break my heart if he does that crap, dude.
I just feel like some of these players are not going to pan up to what you think. But the Lakers, on paper, they do got a really good
I
offseason.
like it. I think we're
I,
deep
I
this
do.
year.
And I
What
do think that Cam Reddish one is a little bit of a steal. I like the Rui Hachimura. I do like that for the Lakers, but I have to stay a little bit more focused on Jackson Hayes. I do remember him playing for the Pelicans, but I didn't stay. I don't
he
rock.
wasn't phenomenal. He was I think he was the number 10 pick or number 9 pick or something like that in that draft. He came out of Texas, just an athletic big man. He didn't play a lot of basketball before being drafted. Um he's still pretty raw, but his athletic ability is ridiculous. Like he's got hops, he's got the height, he runs the floor well for a big man, and he can play defense pretty well. He gets physical, so it's worth taking a shot. To me, they have 2 more spots left. I think they're going to leave one available just to have as an open spot for later on in the year. Maybe they'll make a trade or get somebody in the buyout market, something like that. But to me, that second to last spot, that 13th man, I think we're going to need to, or that 14th man, better yet, we're at 13 right now. I think we're going to need to get another big man. And the issue we're running into here is, like I told you earlier, there are just none left. There's Bismack Biyombo. There's Mo Bamba. We could bring back Mo Bamba. We could try to make another run it with Tristan Thompson, who some people think can happen. I think we saw as good of a Tristan Thompson as we're probably going to see
I
in that
say, man,
in
when you
that
only have to
Western
play
Conference
two
Finals.
games, that's the
Yeah,
best
like I
two
think
games for the rest of your
I
life.
yeah. Now could he come in and be this kind of DeAndre Jordan type or Udonis Haslam type where he's just this vocal leader in the locker room, the adult to help things out? I don't know, but to me,
You
you
went
got to have
vocal when
somebody.
he was in his prime.
I think you just got to have a guy that can come in and actually play a lot of games, and against the Jokic's. You got to have somebody that can go against, because it's not just going to be. It can't just be AD. I mean, yeah, we could throw Jackson Hayes at him too, but to me, you still got to have one more guy that I think you can throw in there to kind of rough him up some, in case you want to drop AD down to the 4 and have that extra guy to be able to throw a body with that. So, and it ain't gonna be Winyon Gabriel. If it's Winyon Gabriel, it's just I mean, he's a great guy, hard worker. It's just, man, it's just not gonna get it done. It's not gonna cut it. So,
All right,
that's it.
let's do some quickies real quick. All right.
Quickies.
Yeah. So mainly, I had made a prediction on this show about one guy, and not one guy, one team. I said that the Celtics was not going to let go of Jaylen Brown, and they was going to keep at least Jason Tatum and them. And I did say Marcus Smart will be the guy that they let go of. Obviously we see Marcus Smart. He went to the Memphis Grizzlies. What's your thoughts on that one with that trade? And
Say that
Derrick
one more
Rose.
time. Somebody messaged me.
Oh no, you're good. I said, on here, I said I talked about the Celtics not letting go of Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. Some felt like that potentially that
Jaylen Brown still hasn't signed that max yet, which is weird.
they're not gonna let him go. I'm telling you. But they did
I'm
trade
just
Marcus.
saying that's kind of odd. That's kind of odd that he hasn't signed it. He
It
was
is.
eligible to sign it July 1st, and it hasn't happened yet.
He's trying to get every dollar he can possibly get. Hey,
Oh,
after seeing how far they made it last year, they said we probably ain't gonna make it that far no more. Might well get paid to do what I did.
okay. So you said the Marcus Smart trade, right? That's what you're bringing up.
Yes, the Marcus Smart trade. What are your thoughts on that?
Um, I think that Boston got as good of a freaking value as they're gonna get. Like, it's ridiculous that in that trade they were able to get Kristaps Porzingis and 2 first-round picks. Like, that's ridiculous. That's crazy value for Marcus Smart. 2 first-round picks and Kristaps Porzingis, who they've already signed to an extension, who can come in and help them right away. I think that's great value. So I think it's great on the Celtics part. Grizzlies, I kind of see where you're getting at. You're going to be 30 games without Ja. Have a veteran guy that can come in and run the point while he's gone. Brings that mental toughness, that tenacity, that defense, the grittiness. I see it. It can be a good trade for them. And I do think Marcus is the kind of guy that's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder. He's going to really – I think he's going to attack this thing hard. We might see Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart again. I think he's going to make a case later this year.
Okay.
I really do. I think because dude, have you seen the reports? They told him he was safe literally the week before they traded him. The Celtics did. He was asleep when they traded him because he thought everything was straight. He thought it was fine, man. So this is like the second, third time we've seen the Celtics kind of do some dude wrong.
Do that, man. They're known for that, dude. They're known for that. They don't care.
Celtics are kind of wrong, dude. Like on that stuff.
It ain't right. I agree with you. It ain't right. But I just knew if anybody out of the big three, I just didn't see them taking their chances on Jason Tatum. You're right. Jaylen Brown has not yet signed that 5-year huge super max deal. But
could be one of the reasons could be maybe they're trying to make a play with Damian Lillard. Maybe that could be, that could be a reason that they're holding off. I don't know.
Well,
something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, there's something to keep an eye on. I didn't think about that actually. That's actually not bad. Not bad of a thought.
That's the only thing that comes to my mind. Everybody else is getting their extensions done quick. Anthony Edwards got his today. Tyrese Halliburton got his. Sabonis even got his. Like, it's just he's like one of the last ones left. It's kind of weird. But go ahead.
Right, one of the trades that we also saw for the Washington Wizards, you had Kyle Kuzma, Jordan Poole, Landry Shamet, Danilo Gallinari, Tyus Jones. They all for the Washington Wizards. What's your quick thoughts on that?
Kuzma coming back's good. Poole, Tyus Jones getting to be a starter now is pretty good. That's good for him. Probably won't win a ton of games, but they can put up some numbers and still make it fun for the fans to show up. And then they're still picking up assets. So they're trying to do their best rebuild. So we'll see how it goes. It could be better, but it also could be worse. I don't know. I don't mind the moves they made for the most part. Everybody thought they were fleeced when they traded Bill away, but they really got screwed because Bill had the no trade clause. They got as much as they could from the Suns. They got literally every second-round pick that the Suns had at their disposal. So they did the best they could, I think.
All right, last two before we end the show. Quick one.
You got to touch on the Hawks too. You got to touch on the Hawks.
I was just about to say that. Rudy Gay going to the Hawks from the trade. How much that affected Atlanta, and then also LaMelo Ball getting a huge deal.
He's another one that got his extension already. But once again, Jaylen Brown still has it. But yeah, the Hawks wise, I kind of didn't care for the Collins trade at first, trading John Collins away for Rudy Gay and a second round pick. It's like, man,
I'm skeptical on that, man. I'm
you're telling me you
skeptical.
couldn't have got a better deal than
I know.
that, but it's
I
kind of a
know.
weird move for the Jazz. We'll see how they play it out. They already got Markkanen, already got Kessler, already got, these other guys there. But I think they're in the spot now with the coach they have that I really like, Will Hardy, who came from Ime Udoka's coaching staff in Boston. You got to think he did a really good job last year with what he had. And they actually had to start purposely losing games, it looked like, so that they could actually have a good pick this year. They looked like a lottery team. They were actually beating like the Lakers and other teams like this later in the year when it felt like they shouldn't be. But for the Hawks, getting off that contract maybe does help them. They did make a trade recently that you didn't just bring up. They picked up all they traded away was the rights to Alpha Kaba.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows who that is. He's like a foreign player. For Ty Washington and Usman Garuba, 2 first-round picks that I really liked a lot when they were picked a couple years ago. Garuba is a power forward, plays great defense, can hit the three. I really like what he brings to the game. Ty Washington, a talented point guard. I believe he played for Kentucky. Was good, and they also picked up 2 second-round picks in that deal. So that was a great move for Atlanta. Good young talent. 2 second rounders, and you're giving away nothing. The Houston Rockets had to kind of do this because they were stupid. That's another word. They were stupid and signed Dylan Brooks to an $80 million deal, and then freaking Fred VanVleet to a $140 million deal. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing this offseason, but getting rid of all the young talent they had to
they got some
bring
good
in.
agents. Boy, they stole some money. That's what they did.
Yeah. Put
What
on
they
the
say?
freaking ski mask. Put on the ski mask.
Highway robbery.
For sure. Yeah, highway robbery. But the Ball deal, LaMelo Ball, yeah, good on him for getting his max extension. These guys were due.
290 some million.
It was something ridiculous. I'll look it up real quick. But he cashed in, got him a good deal. We'll see how the Hornets end up doing. I know they're bringing back Miles Bridges. $260 million, 5 years. Yes, I mean, just quickly looking at that, and then we'll close it out. The Hornets roster, since we just brought them up, uh, let's take a look here. They got LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier. Let's see, Theo Maledon, Brandon Miller, Kelly Oubre if he does come back, Amari Bailey, who I like from UCLA, Gordon Hayward's still there, Mark Williams, who's pretty good, and then PJ Washington, who's a restricted free agent right now. So they got a solid team for the most part. We can see what they do with it, but they got to stay healthy. Ball got hurt last year. That kind of ruined some of their plans. Brandon Miller, we'll see if he can come in and be an impact guy right away. I'm trying to see if they have anybody else. I think that's just about it, though. Dennis Smith left. He's with the Nets. That's all I really care for. JT Thor, he came out of Auburn. He was an okay forward, but that's really about it. Not a real deep team. We'll see what they do. They may outperform expectations, especially on a year where Michael Jordan's still on the team. So that's all I had, though. We talked about the main teams that I wanted to talk about, and I know you got your training coming up. So
I do. Yeah.
We got to get you in there so you can be ready for your fight next month.
Yeah, definitely by next show, all this stuff will be out, especially for who my opponent is and everything else. But yeah, I'm ready. Oh, yeah. I'm ready to go. So let's do it.
All right. Well, thank you guys again for listening in to another episode of the TNT Podcast. We do appreciate all the support. If you want to support us, if you're listening to this on podcast format, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcast, anywhere you can listen. Just click in the description, go to the Linktree link, and there's many different ways you can support the show. So once again, thank you guys for listening. And as always, we'll see you next time.
Boom, boom.